Do you remember what most of the coverage of Ebola looked like? It was very, Ebola, is it safe to go shopping? NPR was the grown-up. They were in West Africa, Dallas, Washington, D.C., and Europe. They filed more than 200 reports on the radio and used other platforms, the web, mobile and social media, to get the scientific information and human stories out there to help all of us better understand this terrible disease, all without the need for hyperbole, hoaxes, and hysteria.
This latest Ebola outbreak is the worst ever. It's already sickened and killed thousands.
I think the global community has been way too sluggish in responding to this epidemic.
All we can do is take great precautions. And I think we can't stop caring for patients.
In West Africa, millions of children have been unable to attend schools for months because of Ebola. The fear now is that many children, especially girls, will never go back to school.
Accepting the Peabody is Madhulika Sikka.
Thank you. It's humbling to be standing here to win this award for such a sad and tragic story. But when NPR first reported on Ebola in West Africa last April, the world had yet to turn its gaze on this public health catastrophe. But the newsroom saw a story unfold and insisted that we stay with it, with the aim of bringing the stories of real people suffering real hardship. A real little boy, 10-year-old boy, Sa Exco, found on a beach in Monrovia, his neighbors too afraid to touch him because of the fear of Ebola. Sa died. You know Thomas Eric Duncan as the first person diagnosed with Ebola in the US. He died in Dallas, but he was a real person who likely contracted his disease by helping a pregnant woman in his neighborhood to come home after no clinic would admit her. NPR reporters told his story through his friends and neighbors. That was a picture of a real person. And through the tragedy, stories of hope. 3-year-old Ibrahim, against all odds, beat the disease that claimed his mother. His way of celebrating, proposing to his nurse. NPR's reporting of the Ebola outbreak was some of our most ambitious efforts in a very long time. Every single part of our newsroom touched this story. I know I have a big group behind me, but it was dozens of people. The object to serve our audience on air, online, with audio, text, and pictures. Local, national, international. This was NPR and the public radio system operating at its fullest potential, and your pledge dollars at work. For those of you who fear about the future of international journalism, it is my pleasure to point out that not only am I joined by a group of people who volunteered to go to West Africa when very few news organizations wanted to send people, our veterans on this stage, and I also want to shout out to 2 of our younger producers, Becky Hersher and Sammy Yenigan, on their very first ever international assignments for NPR. And they were so awed by their experience, they went back again. So while I'm humbled, I'm also immensely proud. And on behalf of all of us at NPR News, I thank the Peabody Awards Committee for recognizing this work. Thank you.
Our next Peabody goes to Breakless.